accepted.
Hey guys, it's your girl Cameron and I am back at it again with yet another video. And today we are going to be talking about a show that kind of feels like a fever dream. Like, did it really happen or am I making this up? We're going to be talking about Dance Moms Miami. The inspiration for this video, a few weeks ago, I dropped a video about dance moms from the perspective of someone who was once a competitive dancer. And I wanted to go through what was real, what was fake, what makes sense, what really happens in the dance world. And it had me thinking about the Dance Moms spinoff, Dance Moms Miami. Very short-lived, not very impactful, but what happened? For you guys, I watched season 1 again, maybe 2 weeks ago on Tubi TV. So if you want to watch the episodes, they're on there. But I went through, I took notes, and it really took me back down memory lane. So please comment down below. Did you watch Dance Moms Miami? And did you like it? Please hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see more content like this. I do commentary, I do music reviews, I talk about pop culture, celebrities.
We might be small, but we pack a powerful punch.
So please stay tuned in with me. Thanks for watching, and let's just get straight into the motherfucking video. So Dance Moms Miami aired on Lifetime on April 3rd, 2012 and ended May 29th, 2012. It was a spinoff and extensions of Dance Moms, the show that we know and loved. Dance Moms, the franchise, brought loads of money, boatloads of money, and attention to the network. So, of course, naturally, Lifetime thought, let's do a spinoff. Let's basically take the same concept of the show, find another studio, and do it in another city. And to be honest with you, I think that if this attempt was successful, I think they would have continued to do this around the country. But of course, we fell in love with the OG cast. Well, when it first came out, I remember being really excited about the fact that it was a cast of Latinos, a mainly Latino cast, because usually in these shows, they follow the lives of white people with the token black kid thrown in there. So I thought it was exciting to possibly be exploring a studio or an area with a lot more culture. Would that play a part in their dancing and how they interact? Theoretically, this show should work, right? You're taking the same formula of a show that's successful and just putting it on another studio. But it quickly became a cheap and authentic replica of Dance Moms. And we're gonna go over some of the reasons why I feel this way, but it just didn't set itself apart. A few things that made Dance Moms Miami different though. There was double trouble. 2 teachers, Victor Smalley and Angel Armez, co-directors, co-owners of Star Dance Studio, but they also run this competition team together. Angel, for example, he was considered the drill sergeant.
Get out! I don't want to work with you today.
No nonsense, bad cop, right? His act didn't feel as much of an act. Victor Smalley, on the other hand, was supposed to be good cop. More playful, more fun. He's younger, only 23 years old, and he was more of a friend or an ally to the kids. However, there were a few times where he tried to be the disciplinary, but
Not winning, there's something you're doing wrong. Excuse me, I'm talking. Excuse me, this is my studio and I am talking. And I'm tired of the disrespect.
didn't work. Victor's presentation of a scary dance teacher felt inorganic. It felt forced. It kind of felt like the producers were like, we want an Abby 2.0, but do your best impersonation. It was just a poor cosplay of Abby. I would say one of the downfalls of this show was it was the definition of too many cooks in the kitchen. Have you ever heard that saying? It's too many people, too many opinions, too many people we're trying to follow. And the reason why I say this, we already have 2 co-teachers that are very different. We have Myra, who is Victor's mom, who is the studio manager. Every once in a while, she's a storyline, and she has very crass and strong opinions. Not a fan of her on the show. And then you have, I believe it's 5 mothers, very different personalities, didn't feel cohesive, too much happening. I think it was too many storylines to follow, that a lot of the storylines got lost. You didn't get a chance to really connect with the characters on the show. Let's talk about
the list.
The list was this show's version of a pyramid. Because the pyramid was so outrageous in Dance Moms in general, I thought, let's put this on the show, but we can't call it a pyramid. So they did a list. The list was unnecessary, absolutely pointless. You could tell that they didn't utilize it for anything useful, and it was never consistent. I mean, how is Sammy number 2 on the list on the first week when this was her first week at the studio, allegedly?
How, Sway?
And I almost think it would have been better if they either came up with a completely different concept or if they just left it out and did something a little bit different. You know how successful Dance Moms is? You set them up.
Exactly.
Like, you basically did the same show and you set up a platform for people to basically watch this and say, oh, Dance Moms is better. Oh, Dance Moms does this better. Unlike Dance Moms, there was no genuine sense of camaraderie between the moms or the children.
We were going to try to be friendly.
You're jealous about it? Jealous that Sandy went on to dance?
Okay, let's put it out there. Although Dance Moms, and I'm gonna keep referencing this show because they made it too damn easy. The first series, as much as the moms had their differences, you could tell that these women have known each other for a very long time. And I'm talking about the OG cast. There is ample proof of these girls dancing together before the show, well before the show. So even though the moms had a tumultuous relationship, it almost was kind of like a family. You could understand why they hung out, but you understood the drama because it was really deeply rooted. This show, it really didn't feel like, I mean, the age groups were all over the place. You have 9-year-olds, you have 11, 12-year-olds, then you have a 14-year-old who dances and looks very mature, right? Like sizes, heights, everything was out of whack. It was not a cohesive team here. It was not linear. It was not consistent. It was very here, 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 here. It's like one of those crime maps. Like, it just didn't, all over the place. Didn't make sense. Now, here's my major beef with the show. As a dancer, baby, the choreography. This was my main problem with this damn show. Okay. The word artistry, I could have taken a shot every time the word artist or artistry was used.
The artistry.
So being dancers and become artists.
This movement just screams artistry. With artistry, then bringing in one of our senior artists. Very, very artistic.
You gotta be artists. You gotta
Be artist, Hannah!
There's no artistry in that.
The way all art should be.
Artist, artist, artist.
It is about the artistry, which is lovely. I love that. I absolutely love that. But artistry is not a tilt and a penche and an arabesque every 8 count. That is not artistry. That is technique. It was like, you know what it was like? It was like Victor and Angel were like,
I'm not like other girls.
artistry. Artistry. Oh my gosh, I wanted to freaking scream. But you put a kid in the corner for the whole dance. Kimmy's solo. Nobody's perfect. Beautiful solo. Beautiful dancer. I loved a lot of it. But she was in the corner for 3/4 of the dance that they showed. And she did a tilt, a penche, a tilt, a penche, a penche, a tilt, a tilt, a penche, and a grand plie in second position for the entire dance. Executed it beautifully. I will say that they have really great technique. Actually, artistry to me is the movement, not just the technique, not just the static pose that makes a dancer, right? You actually look back, Sammy's choreography, when Sammy came on the team, they heard a lot of jazz solos, and they were not good. They were simply not good. And even Angel and Victor in one episode could not agree on the choreography because it was that horrendous.
You can't just tell me that all of it is horrible.
I think so.
They both were arguing about their choreography because it was that bad. It was just redundant after a while. After you've seen One Star's dance, you've seen it all.
You're too mechanical.
Repetition is boring.
She was repeating the same moves over and over.
So you agree?
So now the best part, my fave part, is we are going to start talking about the mom and daughter or the son and daughter duos this season. So the first is Jessie and Susan. Susan thinks she is the head mom in charge. Susan is the epitome of a crazy dance mom. The epitome of someone who vicariously lives through their child. Susan's mother and sister were professional dancers. So it runs in the family, but it doesn't seem like Susan ever got her time to shine. Or
my mom was never home, so she really couldn't put me in dance.
So when she had a daughter, Jessie, she wanted Jessie to be the best dancer that she could never be. And it's very clear. Just base it off of the quote where she said,
I want you to be in top of that list. You owe me that.
That is sick. To hold something like that over your child. A list is something that does not affect who your daughter is as a person and the trajectory of her life. For you to base that off of what she owes you to be the best on a top of a fictional list that does not mean shit, you should be ashamed of yourself. She was always crying.
Susan, please. Why are you going to cry?
Everything was about her. It was hardly ever about her daughter. And she would always put the other children down while putting her kid on a pedestal. Susan would act like a dance coach. And your children will grow to resent you if you have that attitude. And I think that was exactly what was happening. Susan,
Feisty.
Bridget and Lucas.
Your crime is tax evasion.
And then my mom.
We all know Bridget and Lucas as a familiar face. Later on in the original Dance Mom series, Bridget is a toad. She has a nasty spirit inherently. Like, she's always talking about the kids. She's always instigating and picking fights with people.
Sammy, I'm gonna ask you a question right now, and I want you to tell me the truth before I go to Victor and Angel.
Just because. No, she admitted it. She was unlikable. She wanted to start drama. She was the drama starter. People don't like her, and she rubs people the wrong way on purpose. Now, Lucas is the only boy on the team, and it is clear that he does get preferential treatment. He's highlighted a lot in the group dances. Victor and Angel give him a lot of one-on-one, a lot of favoritism points, but I kind of understand with decent reasoning because there's not a lot of boys in dance. These are two men, Angel and Victor, who are major mentors. So I can understand them gravitating more towards Lucas. I do think he was a great little dancer, like they used to say on the original Dance Moms. A lot of boys win because they're boys. So if you're already good and you're a boy, I mean, you're unstoppable. So I can't take that away from him. I think he was a good dancer, but they never actually addressed that on Dance Moms. They never addressed the elephant in the room. Like, hey, we were on Dance Moms Miami. It was like Dance Moms Miami happened, and they erased it. That's why I say it feels like a fever dream. And then we have Annie and Kimmy. Honestly, I have nothing bad to say about them. I loved them. They were my favorites. Still an interesting mom and daughter duo without the drama, the shitting on other people. Annie was very supportive of the team, and she was very supportive of her daughter. I think she wanted her daughter to be the best, but you could tell that she really cared for Kimmy's well-being. Kimmy talks about how much of a perfectionist she is, and Annie's like, she gets that from me and I hate it.
She does the same things I do, and frankly, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
It's something that you can tell that they're trying to unpack for Kimmy. As young as she is, she's only 9, they start to explore that. And I will give Victor and Angel a lot of credit in this sense, is that they foster a safer environment for the kids as far as being themselves and their creativity. There were times, especially with Kimmy's Nobody's Perfect solo, that they did that to help her break out of her actual habits.
What are you insecure about?
I'm insecure because I'm not perfect and I always want to be perfect.
That they made it a safe space where the kids could talk about their insecurities, talk about who they are, talk about who they want to be, and they would incorporate this into the dance as a form of empowerment. Abby would do stuff like, Chloe, you're a liar and you're a snake and you're a cheat and your mom is a cheat. So I'm going to do a dance about how you're a liar and you're a cheat. And I'm going to make you feel like shit about it. Abby would do that. Victor and Angel would say, hey, you're insecure about being perfect. You're insecure about how you look. Let's break out of that and let's incorporate this into a dance to further empower you. And that was a positive that I saw in this show out of the very few things. And then next is Abby and Sammy. Sammy is a 12-year-old little girl from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And they actually are new to stars. They studio hop. They're like the Kendall and the Jill of Dance Moms, right? They think they're better. First thing Abby's mom says is,
We're pretty, we have money, and people are just jealous of that.
and then episodes later, Sammy echoes the same sentiment when she's asked about what is her insecurity.
People would judge me on how I look and they would think that I'm a bratty, snooty girl because of my looks on the outside. They think I'm so tall and pretty. But at the end of it, it's just hurtful and they don't even know me.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. No, it doesn't.
And I can't blame her for this because she's a child. But after how her mom talks about how they are, it's clear that this girl is being fed this narrative. And there's nothing wrong with thinking you're pretty or thinking that you're beautiful. But it's the way that you go about wording it or talking about it that is off-putting. And, you know, Abby was teaching her daughter in a way that was a bit off-putting to me. For 12, I think she was a good dancer, but I don't think that she was as heads and bounds above Hannah as they kept trying to make it seem. I think that they actually made Sammy look good. They really didn't make her go out of their comfort zone. She did her cute little jazz solos. There was one time where I think she did a lyrical solo. But I think her real initiation should have been doing a Stars contemporary dance. But they never had her do that. And I will say, as much as they weren't my favorite as a duo, Abby will stick up for her daughter. Like, she's gonna do what she wants when she wants. And I respected it. I mean, she was like, my daughter has homework. We live like 2 hours away. We're leaving. You're not weighing my daughter.
She don't need to go on a scale. It's ridiculous.
I respected it. At the end of the day, you're not going to stick around for some shit that you don't believe in. And I do respect that. And then lastly, we have Debbie and Hannah. Hannah's 11 years old, and she came to Star's studio about 2 years prior to the show starting. Hannah and Sammy went to the same studio, so there's a connection. But they went years ago, and apparently Sammy wasn't nice to Hannah, or there was some sort of rivalry. I don't know. But Hannah's the underdog of the show. But her mom, Debbie, is obsessed with proving to everybody how good and worthy Hannah is.
My daughter's a good dancer, and she's getting better and better every competition.
I'm way more competitive than Hannah, for sure. It actually drives me crazy sometimes that she's not as competitive as I would like her to be.
It's one thing to ride for your child, but it's also another thing that's harmful, in my opinion, because you have to convince yourself and everybody so much that I think it almost sends the message that you don't think your child is worthy. When you have to constantly say it and say it and say it and say it and say it, when no one even asks half the time. It's like you're trying to convince yourself. And although that there was a rivalry between Hannah and Sammy, I think that Hannah had some beautiful qualities to her as a performer. I do. And I do agree with Debbie in that sense where, hey, like, don't count my kid out. I just felt so bad for her, how her weight was such a topic of conversation most of the time.
And how do you feel about when the judges talk about your weight?
I think that they should have been talking about my dancing more than they should have how my body looked.
It was sickening to me, and I really hope that she is okay today. And speaking of the toxicity and the weight, this show was extremely harmful in portraying something that's really taboo is weight in the dance community. And let's talk about it. So Myra, I mentioned Myra is the studio manager and Victor's mom. I did not like her at all. You are a probably 50-year-old woman ripping on children. And Victor had the nerve to be upset with the moms when they would tease his mother.
They came out and they were laughing.
I find it very disrespectful for someone to laugh at my mother.
And made me so depressed. And you guys hurt my feeling really, really bad.
But your mom talks about children's weight. She weighs the children. And she talks shit about the kids, saying
all the kids are amazing, even Hannah. Even Hannah. I am just saying that she's not as prepared as the other girl.
Oh, this one's better than this one. You are a studio manager, man. Victor, you have no right to be upset at these moms clowning on your mom because she talks about their children. So as far as I'm concerned, we're even. Myra brought up the fact that Hannah ate a hamburger at the airport when they were traveling.
No, I saw in the airport she was eating hamburgers and all kinds of things. Hannah tells me that she weighs the correct weight for her age.
You should go to jail.
First of all, you're not her mother, so you should not be saying anything about my child. And second of all, what is it your concern? My daughter is 11 years old. How dare you speak about her weight? Adults discussing a child's weight on national TV, by the way. Couldn't even keep that in private. The other thing that I hated was that Victor and Angel allow their students to be weighed once a month at the studio, and they put it on camera.
Let me see everybody here. Well, one by one.
If that's what you do, shame on you, but fine. But do not exploit that. That is one thing that I would say, look, we're not about to show these kids stepping on a weight on a scale. And it was interesting because Abby, Sammy's mom on that episode, snatched her kid and said, I am not doing this. This perpetuates anorexia. It perpetuates eating disorders, and I'm not going to be a part of this. And one reason why I cannot stand Susan is Susan said,
my daughter's lost 35 pounds. I love the scale.
Your daughter's 14. And this is why I get so angry about this and why I think, you know what, I take the show off the air. Because they were not protecting these kids in any way, shape, or form. This is one of the most overt, harmful ways that kids are impacted, especially in the dance community. And you guys are allowing this to be on display. And as somebody who's in the dance community, there is definitely a precedent on weight, especially in the ballet world. That is still very alive and well. However, the community is slowly moving away and has been for years on the weight front and the body type front. You know, Victor and Angel were like, well, this is what they're going to do in the dance world if they become a part of the company. Not necessarily. A lot of dancers have choices now on if they want to be a part of a company that does that, and a lot of companies don't even talk about that shit because they know they're going to get backlash for it. Now, it's one thing to be focusing on having a nutritionist or nutrition or healthy eating and diet and exercise, but to base it on weight is so unhealthy because everybody's bodies are different. So healthy for one person looks different than for another. I didn't feel like that was a necessary evil that needed to be displayed to explain how the dance world is. So why damage these kids' psyche and their mental before they have a chance to even develop it? But maybe Dance Moms Miami did that to maybe hike ratings or to create controversy, kind of like Dance Moms created controversy around the electricity dance. It was absolutely appalling, and I cannot see past that. So for that, the show is trash. But overall, Dance Moms Miami was a fleeting moment. They did not get renewed for a season 2. As for the kids today, a quick little roundup. Lucas, nowadays, it seems like he is not dancing anymore. I don't want to pass any judgments, but he's very different. And, you know, some people say that they're concerned for him. I don't know enough about what he's doing or what he's up to have an opinion on that. Kimmy actually owns her own, like, stretch band or stretching line. And she's doing really good for herself, it seems. So it's nice to see that she's doing very well. It looks like Hannah is no longer dancing. I would believe she's in college now. She was 11 when the show started. So she's in school, and I believe that she was on her high school dance team for a while. And she's no longer dancing at Stars and actually stopped, I believe, in 2016. We have Sammy. Sammy continued to dance at the studio until she graduated. And I believe that she's currently in college, or she recently graduated from college and she went to school for dancing. But yeah, and so Jessie's actually a part of the military. She, I don't think, dances anymore, but she doesn't have any connections to Stars. She's in the Army now, so she dedicated her life to that discipline. Doesn't surprise me though, she seemed like a very disciplined, hardworking kid. So it seems like now, I think she's 23, 24 years old and she's doing that. So that was a surprise. But yeah, guys, that was my take and my talk about Dance Moms Miami. What do you guys think? Please like, comment down below, and please hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see more content like this. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.